All right, here now with much more. Ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. Your investigation is into whether or not our FBI has been politicized and whether or not the Department of Justice has been weaponized. Now, we have the Twitter files where Elon Musk clearly said a week ago Saturday that election interference, in fact, took place by the suppression of information on Twitter. I agree with him. He talked about how the media is complicit and how Twitter became basically a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. Yeah. When you put that together with what we know about the Bidens and the laptop, you know, look at the Burisma deal. Here you have a vice president withholding $1 billion till a prosecutor gets fired. You have 6 hours. Son of a bee, they do it. And it turns out the prosecutor's investigating his son with no experience being paid millions. What do you call that?
Right. Well, yeah, pressure or you were just talking about intimidation. I mean, never forget, Sean, early January 2017, Jim Comey went up to New York to pressure President Trump and tell him about the dossier that he already knew was baloney, that he knew was false, but it was all designed to intimidate President Trump. Now we get this intimidation that Mr. Turley and you were talking about, coupled with what the Democrats have done to the Supreme Court over the last year, trying to intimidate the court, introducing legislation to pack the court. Intimidation is how the left operates. And it was intimidation and the whole pressing back and suppressing this key information just days before the most important election we have, the presidential election in the fall of 2020. So, yeah, we got to look into this and how political that Justice Department has become.
But it gets even deeper because the FBI had Hunter's laptop since December of 2019.
Yep.
OK, then we head into the election in 2020. They knew that the likelihood that this, in fact, would be made public was real. And you have members of the FBI meeting weekly with every big tech company, warning them that this type of story about Hunter, according to Yoel Roth, might actually come out, and you don't want to be disseminating false information. That sounds to me like the FBI that should have known pretty darn well by that point, 11 months later,
right,
that that laptop was real. They're telling big tech to be on the lookout because it's probably false. It turns out they did intimidate every big tech company. What does that mean in terms of putting the thumbs on the scales of a presidential election?
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they did. But by them telling big tech to be on the lookout for a Russian information operation, that was all, it seems to me, that was all part of their information operation. Here's what I want to know. Those 51 guys who signed that letter, was Jim Baker talking to them? He had to know many of those guys when he served as chief counsel at the FBI. He had to work with those guys when they were spying on President Trump's campaign and when he was taking information from Hillary's lawyer, Mr. Zussman. Then when he goes to Twitter, is he working with those guys? Did he participate in helping them draft that letter, or did he encourage them to draft that letter? Because you got Jim Baker, who was involved in trying to stop Trump from winning in 2016, and here he is at Twitter preventing President Trump from winning in 2020. Maybe it was Jim Baker who was the actual insurance policy. Remember, we saw those text messages from Strzok and Page. Maybe the real insurance policy was later Jim Baker in 2020 helping Twitter keep that information from the American people. I don't know, but we need to get to the bottom of all this so that it never, ever happens again.
Do you believe the Washington Post and Jonathan Turley's interpretation of this, that they are telegraphing an intimidation campaign against witnesses, against investigators like yourself, against the media if they dare report any of these things? Do you think this is an organized, well-orchestrated intimidation effort to protect the Bidens?
Of course it is. And this is not the first story. There was one 4 weeks ago, right after the election. Politico puts a story out. David Brock and this group are coming after anyone who investigates the Bidens. So it's not that they just told us once with the Washington. They've now told us twice. So when someone tells you once, okay, but they've told us now twice, of course they're coming after folks. But the fact is, we have a duty to do the work, to get the truth out there, to get the facts out there. That's step one in stopping this kind of baloney from happening in the future. We can't have a Justice Department that's political. We can't have a Justice Department that's working hand in hand with the biggest social media platforms to limit what information Americans see. You just can't.
What does
and that's
it tell
what we got
you?
to focus on and do our job.
They have had since December 19 Hunter Biden's laptop, and they've done nothing with it. What does that tell you about the FBI and the DOJ and the investigation you begin in January?
Tells me that these 14 whistleblowers, FBI agents who've come talk to us and taken whistleblower status, it tells me they're probably right, that you should believe them, that they're credible, good men and women who've come talk to us and telling us how crazy things are there. And that's why we're going to investigate and get the facts.
All right, Jim Jordan. Well, clearly you're not going to be intimidated. All those years wrestling have paid off, no doubt about it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.